Hello world! My name's Ben and welcome to Recap. This week's adventure was a diplomatic dungeon crawl, which means that the party went looking for the primal Pathacaris, the copper-bound tome that they need to do the invitation ritual thing. And they knew that it was supposed to be at this factory, or at least that's where the base of the infamous thief, the Panther, who stole the book. He's supposed to be at that factory. So theoretically the book would be there as well, and they were going to go, investigate, find the book, recover it, and be on their way to the next part of the quest. The factory was an old abandoned textile mill with a main building that was 4 stories, about 60 feet tall in total, and a side building that was about 35 feet tall. Of course, the first thing the party did was split up. So Zinj circled around the building, found out there were only 2 entrances, scaled the walls, went up onto the roof, and kept an eye out to make sure that no one fled the building. Varga, Narar, and Relvin explored the first floor, while Gurgin and Melanoa went up to the second floor and started exploring there. Now, as a den of thieves, this place was heavily trapped. It's actually rather miraculous that only 4 of the traps got set off. Mostly, it was Varga just exploring, touching things that needed to be touched, and bashing down doors without any care for what might be on the other side. First, she managed to find a sparkle trap, which actually launched this glowing dust, so that she was very visible and would be able to hide. Not that she's really into the hiding. The second was when she went through a door, a large pipe came down, flying at her, with one end facing her directly and sharpened like a cookie cutter. Varga dubbed that one the love pipe. The third trap she hit was triggered by a pressure plate when she walked through a door into what used to be a boiler room. There's great big metal basins high up in the room, and lots of scorch marks where you could tell they used to have fires or something used to heat the liquid that was in the bins. Turned out that the pressure plate caused the bin to tilt and spill a whole bunch of acid right at her and at the door. That managed to catch the 3 of those guys slightly unaware. Narar took it like a man. I love acid! But it really didn't do that much because he's actually healed by acid. Meanwhile, the guys upstairs were searching very fast, pretty much just opening the door, looking in, seeing if there's any people there, and if there wasn't, they'd move on to the next door. With the one exception that Gurgin opened one door and there was a lever. Big shiny lever on the wall. And, just like a big shiny button, sometimes you have to pull the lever. Pretty much always. This lever was actually trapped to cause the ceiling to cave in, which gave them a nice view of the 3rd floor. The large amounts of bricks that fell on them really wasn't that bad, but it banged them up a little bit. The party wasn't actually trying to be quiet in all of this ruckus, and it's a pretty good thing. But they actually started by calling out, saying, hey, we're looking for Panthers, anyone here? Hello, hello. But they hadn't been getting any responses, so that's why they kept exploring and bashing down doors and setting up traps and collapsing ceilings and, as you do. Eventually, Melanoa and Gurgin found themselves in what was a counting room. And there they found a nice, hefty safe. Quick knock spell and Melanoa had it open. They were able to find that there was all sorts of bags and boxes in there with gems and coins, and they started looking, and no book, but pretty good amount of loot. However, that's when one of the thieves showed up. A large minotaur showed up wielding a battle axe and told them to put the loot back. He insinuated that if they did put the loot back, he would introduce them to the Panther. However, Melanoa didn't feel like cooperating and putting the loot back. Instead, she said, no, we'll put it back after we have the book. So the minotaur started to charge in and make her put it back. That didn't really go well for the minotaur because with a quick cast of a spell, hold monster, suddenly the minotaur wasn't moving. Gurgin walked up, righteous might, big, and just pulled the axe out of the minotaur's hands. Boop. Minotaur disarmed, disabled, useless. Gurgin did, however, convince Melanoa to put the loot back and then release the Minotaur from hold so that way they could continue on with their deal. Begrudgingly after that, Minotaur did take the 2 of them up to see where the Panther was. Meanwhile, the other members of the party had circled around the whole 1st floor and found themselves outside, having exited the 2nd entrance when they thought they were heading to the stairs up. Marty gets very disoriented pretty easily. They eventually said, how about we just go up? And Narar grabbed them and flew up, and they went up to the little balcony area that was on top of the smaller building. Just so happened that that's where the Panther was, along with one of his friends, a female elf with a flute, probably a bard. Never really said, but yeah, elf bard. Feathers ruffled a little bit as the confrontation started, but it didn't actually go that badly because the two smooth talkers went at it and came out with some level of an agreement. They sat down at a table after some time and came to the understanding that the book would be exchanged for a rapier that the party already had looted back when they were searching for weapons. About then is when the Minotaur showed up with the other party members that he was guiding them, and a few tense minutes later, the book was brought out by a halfling thief, someone that they hadn't encountered yet really. He'd been spotted a couple times in the shadows. And all was well. Party got the book that they were looking for. There didn't end up being massive amounts of bloodshed, and party and thieves went their separate ways. And that is where we left off. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you liked this. If you did, click the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, then subscribe to my channel. I put them out every 2 weeks because that's when we have games. There are many more games to come, and I am happy to recap them for you. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a fantastic day.
Here you see the map of the first 2 floors. This is as far as they got through exploring. And as you can see, there are several T's. Those are for happy time.